Hi, CFA. Luna, Thursday team.
All right.
Okay.
What is your name?
I'm Bo Mozikowski.
How old are you?
I am 22 years old.
And where are you from?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
And what are you planning to do after you graduate?
Well, I graduate in a month. Pretty excited, but I'm looking forward to the next few weeks here on campus. I am moving back to Chicago to work as a financial advisor at Northwestern Mutual in the city there. I'm really excited for that opportunity. I'll be able to work with my dad and some people that I've known for a really long time, so I have some good mentors in the business. And I will have some opportunities as well to coach and serve underprivileged kids as well. So looking forward to that back in Chicago.
Very nice. So what we're wanting to know is, what has God done in your life over the past 4 years? What are some of the things that He's taught you?
A big thing that He's taught me is that everything happens for a reason and He has a plan at all times. I came in with sports as kind of the number one thing that identified me. And I was running on the cross country team here, and that was a big plan, and I was very excited, but as soon as I arrived at Columbia, I had an injury. I broke my foot 3 times in a row, and it lasted about the whole year, and I never got the opportunity to run on the team. But and I was really bummed. My freshman year was very up and down, but then after that, I got a lot of opportunities that I wouldn't have had was I running track. One was joining CFA, may not have happened. I also was able to join a fraternity and become president of my fraternity and have an impact in a lot of different organizations on campus that I would not have had was I running on the cross-country team. So even if things are disappointing, you've got to sit back and know that God has a plan and everything happens for a reason.
Awesome. And are there any specific, instances where God gave you the opportunity to witness to somebody or bless somebody, whether on a sports team or in your frat or?
Can't think of any one in particular, but I think the foundation and the starting of CFA and me being one of the original members 3 years ago was a great opportunity to evangelize and tell people who I am and what I believe, just because I'm always going to Bible course or I'm always going to church, or if someone is going through a bad time, I've had situations where people are going through a rough time, whether it be school or a death in the family has actually been one instance, or problems with relationships or drinking or other habits, whatever it may be, that I have been the person that they've come to, and I've been able to invite people to Bible course or church, and that's been a blessing having CFA to do that. Like I said, freshman year, for me, CFA wasn't around, so I didn't have that opportunity to mission and tell people what I believe or invite them to something. But having CFA the last 3 years, I've been able to grow and help others do that as well through my fraternity, just embodying the basic things. CFA functions.
And the last question is, what advice would you give to younger people in the ministry?
Definitely stay involved in CFA and get involved in as many things as possible, but I would also advise getting involved in other on-campus organizations, which doesn't have to be a sports or Greek life. It could be drama, something more academic, whatever you're into, but be seeking friends in all different areas so you can kind of shine Jesus' light and His kingdom throughout this whole campus. And so we want to be able to reach all corners of Columbia through CFA. So don't just limit yourself to CFA, even though we really want it to grow and thrive, but open up and be involved elsewhere. And don't just focus on your studies or whatever it may be. Just be open to new things and always be trying something new, because you only got a few years.
All right. Thank you.
You are welcome.
That's it. All right. So what is your name?
My name is Yu Yun.
And how old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
Where are you from?
I'm from China.
And what are you planning to do after graduation?
I'm really lucky to get an internship last summer with JP Morgan, so I'm going to continue working with them in the Credit Portfolio Solutions group.
Nice. So could you tell us what God has done in your life over the past 4 years?
Before I came to college, I was really apprehensive about my academics because I want to finish all the 4 years in 3 years. So I was really wondering if I could finish my studies in 3 years without killing myself. But then I think God has wonderfully provided for me many friends here in Colombia. Me joining CFA was actually pretty accidental, I think. I lived in Shapiro in my sophomore year, and then there was a whole group of CFA people having a meeting in the lounge at that time, and I saw Dan in there, and I was just asking him, oh, what are you doing here? And then they were saying, oh, we're going on a retreat, do you want to join us? I didn't had a very good spiritual walk with God in my freshman year. It was really dry for me, although I've been praying for a ministry group to join, so I think this is a really good opportunity as I haven't been on any retreat before either. So I went, and I immediately feel really at home in CFA, and that was a huge blessing for me, and it kind of revived my entire relationship with God. And I think in the second half of the sophomore year, Yuna was founding the Seeking God team, and she asked me if I want to join, and I was like, okay, but I didn't know what the Seeking God team was going to do. But then it turns out to be, I think, the hugest blessing for me in the CFA family, because I had to lead the morning prayer meetings, so it kind of forced me to prepare the devotional, forced me to pray in front of people, and forced me to lead other people to pray. So that really strengthened my spiritual walk with God, and I felt really revived after each prayer meeting, although the morning times could be really challenging and I was struggling to get up, but every time I walk out of it, I felt so refreshed by God's word and by the people who are praying alongside me. Apart from the Christian community, God has also provided a lot of really supportive non-Christian friends in my life, two of which I became really close to, and they have really transformed my life, I think. One of my friends is the entire opposite of almost every side of me, which makes me realize, which really makes me realize my shortcomings, because those things I don't realize in myself until I see it in other people who are, the complement of me, kind of. I saw parts of me that are really rigid. I always try to conform myself to a certain standard, always appear really strong and optimistic in front of people, and never show my emotionally weak side in front of people. And I guess that's from my middle school and high school times, because I was always very good in my studies and everyone sees me as the academic star, and I was always trying to be, appear really good in front of people. But this friend, he really taught me how to be vulnerable in front of people, because I think that's how you make real friends. Because if you only have friends who are very nice to you and you're very nice to them all the time, then you don't really gain anything from the relationship. You only start to improve yourself. You only try to want to become a better version of yourself when you know how bad you are in certain aspects. And you want to improve, not just that you can love your friends better, but also you can bring more glory to God, also how God can fulfill more purposes in your life by you transforming certain parts of your personality and becoming more open, becoming more willing to accept other opinions and be more tolerant and flexible in front of other people. And this other friend, she's like me in every aspect. I think God works in really amazing ways by bringing friends of, very different personalities around you. One of them doesn't match me at all, but this other one matches me completely. So whatever I tell her, she will completely understand, and she's like a soulmate figure for me. So with these two friends, I think God has taught me so much, and God has really transformed my life tremendously in every single way. Even now, even if I'm not in contact with one of them anymore, that influence continues on in my life. And I'm just really thankful for that every day, because it has, in a way, made my life more fulfilling. And because that also inspired a lot of things in me, such as my passion for traveling, my passion to go out and explore new things, which I kind of never thought about before. Yeah, so I'm really thankful for all of these that God has given me.
That's awesome. So you spoke a little bit about how other people have ministered to you, and how God has brought those people into your life. Is there a way that you feel that He's been able to use you to bless others in the past 4 years? Can you think of like any ways that He's done that?
Okay. I think I'm always really happy to tell people about Christianity, and I always want to invite people to church, although 90% of that attempt actually fails most of the time. So, but I have brought several friends to church in the past few years, and I think although some of them they still don't really believe who Jesus is, it has inspired an interest in them about they might want to pursue they might want to continue to pursue God in the future and try to understand who He really is. And I think my being willing to be with them and share my time with them to tell them about Jesus, to hear their their inner darkness or their secrets or their struggles in life was really a blessing for them. And actually I was very blessed in that process too, knowing that I can be of some use to these people to love them even more. I also just had a really good relationship with my roommate in sophomore year, and I feel like that was a huge blessing for both of us.
Cool. What advice do you have for younger people in the ministry? What advice would you give them to really make the most of the rest of their time at Columbia and to grow closer to God during the time that they have here?
Yeah. So I think there are a lot of struggles as a student here, and a lot of times we don't know which direction we're supposed to take. Same for me last year. During my interviews, I was so stressed out. I nearly broke down. I just cried in front of my mom, and I was saying, "Oh, I don't want to do this anymore." And I actually want to give up the JP Morgan interview, which turned out to be the offer that I got. So I just want to tell you that just don't give up on yourself when you feel you can't continue, because you never know what God has in store for you in front of you, and you never know how much you have already achieved, how much He has already prepared you for these great things. So have higher self-esteem and be confident that God has wonderful things in front of you. He has so much in store for you. And also when you're in a situation, just open up yourself and be flexible. Be open to many different possibilities. Don't confine yourself to a certain set of rules. Of course, those options that you consider, they must conform to God's standard. But then that doesn't mean there's only one way to go. You can discover much more about yourself, about other people, if you just broaden your mind and be open to new possibilities.